Over the last few videos, I've been reflecting on the moods framework from Alan Seeler and talking about the assessments that we go through that determine the mood that we're in. But the question today, in deepening our understanding of the moods framework, is about and this is an analogy, if you will, how we're using the walls that are around us to keep threats at bay, and then allowing the things in that are helpful to us. Someone commented on a video yesterday that they're in a constant mood of anxiety, and so I want to talk a little bit about that mood. But for me, the peculiarity of the lockdown is that we're meant to be staying at home because there's this real threat, this pandemic that's out there that puts us at severe risk. And so we want to keep that outside. And like in the medieval times, you would build a wall around your village or city to keep dangers out and to keep what you wanted inside. And so we've got these physical walls that are there to protect us. But what is happening in this hyper-connected, device-driven world is that what is happening outside in the world is also smacking us directly in the face and messing around with our brains and our neural networks and our emotions and moods because of what is coming through to us from our devices. It's like we're experiencing the world vicariously and in a mediated way. So this is an intermediated experience of the world. And I guess my concern is that a lot of the perspectives, the infodemic, the data, the graphs, the tweets, the sometimes confusing scientific evidence, the polarizing political views, and then also the views that people are expressing just based on their own experience and what they're experiencing around the health or the economic impacts of the lockdown, is that these are a bit of an emotional contagion as well. And for me, that ties into the moods framework and why I think we've got to look after the assessments that we're kind of going through that determine the mood that we're in. So just as a quick recap, there are three fundamental assessments that we make that determine the mood. And the one is facticity, that what is happening around us it is what it is, but it cannot be changed. That's facticity. Then there's possibility, where we have an assessment that things are still possible, that things can be different, and there are possibilities. And then the third assessment is that of uncertainty, where we feel like we don't know. There's a bunch of doubt, and we're not able to predict what is going to happen. And those are the three basic assessments. But then the next level, the secondary assessment, is whether we oppose those assessments or whether we accept them. Because if we oppose them, it puts us into one of three moods: resentment, resignation, or anxiety. But if we accept the facticity, the possibility or uncertainty of the situation around us, it puts us into a mood of acceptance, ambition, or wonder. Now, one of the key ones I think that I find myself experiencing and people around me and that I'm connected to and talk to is the mood of anxiety. And that's the cousin of the emotion fear. And so we might experience fear when there's a very real threat. Alan Seeler speaks about a snake crossing our path. That fear we feel, we fight or flight, but it's cursory. And because once that threat is over, we move on and there's a different emotion. But what you might start finding now over prolonged periods of lockdown is that this fear is turning into a mood of anxiety. And we've got to be careful of that mood contagion. And my encouragement to you, if you're experiencing the mood of anxiety, is to curate what is inside your city walls a little bit better. What is coming through your device into your inner sanctum, into your village, into your mental city, if you like. And one of the easy things that we can do is just be a little bit more intentional about how we curate our feeds, remembering that a lot of the platforms that we use have algorithms that kind of determine what they want to show us, and we've got to be careful about being baited or triggered by that. And so just pay a bit more attention to the perspectives and opinions that are coming your way through your mediated experience of the world, through your device, and maybe make some decisions about who you follow, which accounts you follow, but then fundamentally try and be a bit more intentional and conscious about the perspective and maybe the mood that is coming at you from that perspective, and whether you take that on board, whether you even let that in your city walls.